Hello everyone, and today we've got a comparison video I've been wanting to do of comparing an old American 9-inch desk fan and an old British 9-inch desk fan. Because I've really wanted to see which is truly better of these two fans, like which was better for like old 9-inch fans or just old desk fans, America or Britain. It's just a little fun comparison because there's so many different fans from each country that it would be hard to properly tell which is better. So I'm doing two that I think are pretty similar because these are simply both one speed 9-inch desk fans, and they both feature a brushed motor. I'm going to address it in multiple different categories. Obviously the four I use, like the design, build quality, airflow and noise level. I also want to take a look at the visual differences between the fans. And let's take a look at the weight. Got a weighing scale here as well. So yeah, I guess I should get on with it. If we look at the visuals of these two, they're quite different, aren't they? They both have like the black for like the motor, the base and whatnot. But the main difference is the grill and the blades on this one are made of brass and have got brass colour. This one is, I assume maybe steel? I'm not sure, but I know it's not brass. And it's also got pretty cool red blades, which I think is very cool. Red blades is very rare on fans. I will say brass blades are more common from what I've seen than red. You always never see red. So I think that's very cool. They both feature a brushed motor, but if we look at this, the brushed motor for the Gilbert is actually at the front here, where the front bearing is. Whereas on the Revo, it's at the back here, where the back bearing is. I think that's pretty interesting. I'm only guessing the reason that is at the front because of the oscillator, because old American fans tend to have more oscillators than old British ones, which this one doesn't. A lot of the newest, I've got a load of old British fans. The oldest one I've got with an oscillator is from the 1940s. Speaking of age, this is the older two. This one's, I think, sometime in the 30s. This one was sometime in the 20s. So this one is older, so it might have that advantage or disadvantage. I do prefer the oil ports on this one. It's just these screw caps, and the oil wicks are actually inside these little brass containers. This one, it features a little hole for an oil port. Right there, in there. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. I think that's better. Let's weigh these two fans and let's see which one's heavier. .6 kilograms. Not a bad weight for a 9-inch desk fan. .4 kilograms. So with that, the Revo is heavier. Another thing I also found interesting, I think Britain or England used more brushed motors than America. At least from what I've seen with a lot of old American brass fans, they were more, I think they're more on the like brushless and induction motors, I want to say. I'm not an expert, so don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. A lot of old British fans did use brushed, I'm pretty sure. Although the GC magnets didn't. They used brushless. Well, overall in design, I think I would honestly give it to the Revo. I think the Revo was better. Better oil ports, the grill and whatnot. These are easier to take off. The carbon, these brushes screw on there. There's no screw for that one. That one, the grill's held on with 4 nuts, which is fair. It gets the job done just fine. It's just I find this one more annoying to take apart and work on than this one. And I do think this one is cooler looking. To be fair, build quality, they're both very, very good. It's pretty much hard to pinpoint which is actually better, because they're both very good in build quality. However, I will say, as you can see, brass is not the strongest material. This material, whatever this is, I would say is stronger. brass is not the strongest, but it is very pretty. But hey, it gets the job done just fine. The grille still holds up. Both these fans still hold up. Overall, I'm not sure what I'll give it to. Oh yes, and another mention before I forget. That's the tilt adjustment knob. You basically turn this knob to adjust the height. I turn it this way, it goes up. You turn it that way, it goes down. It's a very cool and unique tilt adjustment that I rarely ever see in fans. This one uses its more typical style. You just adjust that knob, adjust it to the height, and adjust that. Well, this is probably more practical, more easier to do. This one I always find really cool, and I really like this one. 6 minutes into this recording and we haven't rung either of them two. What am I doing? So far I do feel like the Revo, I think, just edges out the Gilbert, but it's really hard to tell. They're both really good fans. I guess let's figure out which one has more power really in airflow. Let's turn on the Gilbert and the Revo. They're both running at full power now. The Revo's definitely quieter. But which is better in airflow? I will give them that, they're both good air movers. If we do it right up, like right up against the grills, the Revo just edges out the Gilbert. If we do it from further away, they're the same. They're generally the same from this distance. If we go any further away, the airflow is just going to mush with each other, so it's not going to be accurate. Overall, in terms of airflow, the Revo is just edges out the Gilbert, and in noise level, the Revo is quieter. Let's turn them both off at the same time. I guess we'll use this. Spin downs are going to be quick. The Revo wins on the spin down. It's not going to affect the scores, just something I wanted to do for a bit of fun. Both of these fans do have brushed motors, so their spin downs are going to be quick. It's just how it goes. Now we've got both of the fans turned to the back. We're going to turn them on, and I'm going to do a little start-up for them both. Here's the start-up on the Gilbert. Runs pretty nicely. Granted, this cord needs some work. Next up, here's the Revo. Doesn't sound great just with that. That makes quite a bit of sparking when it starts up and it kind of dies down a bit once it's going. Still not the greatest. Now if I had to give my opinion overall, I do think the old British fan is the better too. Is that biased because I'm British? Probably. But that doesn't mean the American fan here is bad. This is still a very good fan. It's a neat, effective little air mover. I just think this fan slightly edges it out. Overall, I prefer the design of it, build quality. I think this one just edges it out, and then the airflow and noise level, this one wins. Overall, I'll give it to the Revo. But America did make some very good fans, like this Gilbert. And little fun fact, the other Revo I got is actually made by Westinghouse, which is infamous, well not really infamous, just a famous American manufacturer. And I do have a General Electric, so maybe at some point I'll do it with some newer 12-inch fans, because I have a General Electric, and I don't know what else I'll do to compare General Electric to. But yes, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and see ya!